Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes when software is introduced to a conversation, or as part of an additional service that's coming in to help with the situation, it can make people, I can see how or I've certainly heard the case of some people in procurement teams sort of thinking, is this gonna mean that I'm not needed? But actually what it means is you can do more useful work, you can do more meaningful work. Yep. It's just pushing it up a level, really, isn't it? Yeah. And I think, we've seen organisations using for things like capability planning across their supply chain, but on a holistic basis. Whereas half the time, if suppliers aren't visible, like you say, they're missing out on stuff because people aren't aware of them in different areas of the business. But also, it's just sometimes you'll have an organisation that's desperate to get something done, to do it quickly. They need somebody that's on board that has these specific capabilities, but they just can't see them. And that's where also we've seen people using things like expressions of interest, which is, obviously putting it into that context of saying, we've got this stuff coming down the road, we're not ready to do it yet, but who's got capabilities and who might be interested in this? Maybe you need to build your supply chain. Maybe you've got people in there who could already do it, but that's something that's been quite interesting that I've been, pleasantly surprised about how useful that's been for people. But just coming on to the kind of what this has ended up delivering for Telent and for the suppliers. So obviously there's efficiencies around it, there's greater visibility. I feel like it puts Telent in a very good light in the sense of doing something innovative and engaging proactively with supply chain and showing a real attitude to be open with the supply chain. Are there any other things, obviously, savings, efficiencies, things like that? Are there any other things that you think Telent will, in the long term, benefit from this approach?
I think really you're going to get to a point where, as I said, at the very beginning, labour as a category was the messy draw. Like I say, it was everything and anyone was in there, from subcontractors doing physical works on site to professional services and whatever else. We even had the window cleaners. No, true story. We had the window cleaners that do our office in my labour category. The vision I have in my head is that we will very soon get to the point where the spend is managed, that there are strategies behind each one of the what we do as a company, and there will be a procurement sort of how a procure to pay process for each. So it'll be statements of work, it'll be frameworks, it'll be contingent labour, but ultimately our stakeholders will know quickly where to go for each. That's where it will get to.
And ultimately, that puts Telent in a great position to be able to provide the service they want to provide to their end customers, in terms of knowing you can deliver, looking at projects coming down the line, seeing what capabilities you've got, and then being able to access that effectively.
Correct.
Which is great because it takes procurement away from being the police to being a business enabler at that kind of very top level, really.
Yeah. It stops the kind of, like I think you were mentioning before about the pain between procurement and the projects team.
Yeah.
Is the supplier onboarded? Have they got a contract? Oh, this is a maverick spend. You've just removed all of that and you've enabled your stakeholders to make quick decisions based on how they want to deliver their works, which in turn obviously adds value, which in turn brings more value to our clients.